caught it down on the 45 to the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 19, 18-yard line. Flag. There's a flag up on the 25, maybe a clip. That pass was intercepted and carried all the way down to about the 16. I think it was 44, wasn't it, Tommy?
Looked like the quarterback back at free safety, Keith Goodrich, made that interception, and the run back. The officials getting together and trying to decide what the call is. I don't know. Regardless, looks like that interception holding against Lebanon.
Man, holding way down there. I figured it might have been a clip. That'll carry it half the distance. That should put it on about the 9-yard line. Well, Gallatin has come over here and beaten us pretty good. They just picked off a pass, raced it to the 19. We were holding somebody, and half the distance to go. We'll carry it to the 9, and Goodrich picked that pass off and raced it to the 9-yard line. I got a feeling Gallatin will take a knee.
Block it in the, well, I don't know what they call.
I think they'll take a knee and win this football game 17-0. Let's see. And that's exactly what he does. Calvin Short and Coach Mark Medley, good friends, and he's not going to put another touchdown in there.
He just told his quarterback Goodrich to keep him in the huddle for as long as possible. So that's going to be our final, 17-0, as the clock runs with 40 seconds to go in this football game. Lebanon will drop to 6-1. Gallatin will improve to 6-1. Both teams with identical 4-1 records in the region.
Goodrich comes up, takes a knee, and that's the final play of this football game, ladies and gentlemen, because the clock says 23 seconds. Lebanon and Gallatin. Gallatin has beaten Lebanon 17-0 on our field, and all the Gallatin people are very happy. All the Lebanon fans stand and stretch, and they'll have to leave disappointed again. Lebanon and Gallatin. It's all over. The final score, 17-0. We'll be back with the stats in 30 seconds.
The post-game show with Coach Mark Medley and field reporter John Bryant. Brought to you by Greg Brothers Car Wash, Jim Goodall, County Clerk, by Texas Boot U.S. Shoe, Youth Reach, College Street Church of Christ, Burr's Barbecue, and by Fraser Brown Insurance.
Welcome to the postgame show. I'm your host, John Bryant. Coach, we had more offensive yards on the ground, total yards than they did. The turnovers killed us.
Well, you know, they really did. We dug ourselves a hole early on the opening kickoff. You know, twice in the first half we were just, you know, you call this game a game of inches. We were about that far from having a touchdown with Mo down here, and ball maybe slightly underthrown. Made a good recovery on the play. Later on in the half, you know, we fumbled the ball down there inside their 10, and if we got the score going in, we'd had some momentum. I thought maybe the biggest thing in the whole ball game was the drive they had in the third quarter. They came out, kept the ball for over 10 minutes, and put another touchdown on the board. And then we had a pretty good drive going, and picked up a first down and got the personal foul penalty, and you know, had the football very little the second half. But Gallatin knocked us off the line of scrimmage. You control the line of scrimmage. They won the football game.
Coach, let's scoot over here a little bit. Coming out in the second half, their defense really came after Greg in the offensive backfield.
Well, they did. They were doing some things with Mo that forced us to go to one back to get single coverage on him, and we didn't do a good job of picking up their stunt. We knew when they eagled their tackle down that they're going to send him one way and send the nose the other way and run the linebacker A-gap, and our remaining back's supposed to pick him up. And you get out there in the heat of the battle, they came clean on us twice and made big plays on us.
Coach, we've got to regroup going to Warren County.
Yeah, only thing I told this football team, and of course we're going to talk after we get inside, we're bigger than, this program's bigger than one ball game. If we built this thing right and the right foundations here and the right kind of people are here, and I believe they are, we're going to come back and we're going to get better from this. Gallatin showed a lot of class at the end, taking the knee. Gallatin also, said they played by far their best ball game. They felt like their team gelled tonight, and that's what football teams has to do in big ball games.
Coach, look forward to next week's game against Warren County. Hope you have a good week of practice.
Thank you, John. We'll need it.
Back up to you, Terry, for the final stats.
Thank you, John. I'm Terry Stafford with the final stats. Gallatin has defeated Lebanon tonight 17-0. Lebanon goes 6-1 on the season, 4-1 in the region. Let's recap the scoring. Gallatin got on the board, 10:32 left in the first quarter. Chris Mullins, a 32-yard field goal as they take advantage of Lebanon fumbling the opening kickoff and take a 3-0 lead, 10:32 left in the first quarter. Gallatin gets on the board in the second quarter, 11:37 left in the half. Keith Goodrich, a 4-yard run as Gallatin goes 82 yards in 7 plays. Mullins added the extra point, and at halftime, Gallatin led Lebanon 10-0. The only scoring in the second half, Gallatin 2:41 left in the third quarter. Amariah Robb, a 1-yard touchdown run. Gallatin 74 yards, 17 plays. Mullins again with the extra point, and that was our final as Gallatin defeats Lebanon 17-0. Taking a look at the stats for Gallatin, 41 rushes, 169 yards, 48 yards passing as Gallatin completes only one pass in the ballgame, only throws 4, 1 of 4, 48 yards, 217 total yards for Gallatin. First downs, Gallatin with 10 first downs, a big number tonight. Turnovers, Gallatin with no turnovers in the ballgame. Penalties, 2 penalties for 20 yards. The leading rushers for Gallatin, Jeremy McMurray, 17 carries, 95 yards. Amariah Robb, 11 carries, 35 yards. Gallatin, 41 rushes, 169, 48 yards through the air, 217 yards for Gallatin. For Lebanon, 32 rushes, 121 yards through the air. Lebanon with 101 yards passing. Greg Triplett tonight, 9 of 18, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Lebanon with 222 yards, actually gained more yardage than Gallatin. Gallatin with 217, Lebanon with 222. Lebanon also with more first downs, 13 first downs. With the big number, turnovers, Lebanon with 4 turnovers tonight, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Penalties, Lebanon 3 for 29. Individually tonight, for Lebanon, Greg Triplett, 9 carries, 7 yards. Steve Rose, 3 carries for 11. Charles Moss, 13 carries, 60 yards. Jade Sellers, 4 carries for 29. And Tony Cantrell, 3 for 14. That's 32 rushes for Lebanon, 121 yards. Triplett again passing tonight, 9 of 18, 101, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 101 through the air, 121 on the ground, 222 yards tonight for Lebanon. Lebanon, more total yardage, more first downs, but unfortunately 4 big turnovers as they go 6-1. They lose their first game of the season, 4-1 in the region at tonight's ball game, in which Gallatin defeats Lebanon 17-0. Thanks, Terry. Another bang-up job on the stats as usual. Lebanon will go on the road next week to Warren County, and you can see that game on Lebanon Cablevision 3, and you can listen on KM Country 1090 AM. For Bruce Skeen, the voice of Blue Devil football, Terry Stafford and John Bryan, I'm Tommy Bryan. Have a good morning, everybody.